Okay, we got some Bob Marley taking us into a top 5 video. These are my top 5 wrecks, or that I would use, that cost under $50. On the table right there, beautifully presented with a very nice cable with the caps protected, plus the booties and the whole thing. If you're interested in winning that set right there, you got to be a subscriber and can confirm. Comment below to qualify, and then like the video if you genuinely like it. And this comment section will be drawn for that set. It's not bad. Getting to the list, go ahead and put the border up. Number 5 that you maybe can't see, let me go ahead and take this out, is look at what I do to myself. Look at me. I'm recommending at number 5 a set I just told you not to buy the previous video, and I'll explain why. If you look at my channel and you go back and you see the planar wars, the very first video that I did the planars were not booming at all at the time, and I did a comparison between 5 sets, and I said that the timeless was the only one that was, and the first one that was ready for prime time. About everything that they had in stock, because nothing was selling, was all gone. It was probably like 100 sets. I think about 3 weeks later, Kryn gets a set and he does the oh wow face, and then they sold. It took off from there. But before that video came out, there wasn't a lot of talk about planars and IMs. Though they had been around, they had been so poorly done, nobody really paid attention, and companies didn't really create a lot of stock. So they got caught with their pants down, literally, when they finally nailed it. This is kind of going to be like the planars in that haptic drivers, plus those new mics that you see on some sets recently, that you can connect either MMCX or 2-pin. This is really starting to line up for stuff that's going to be done by gamer YouTubers and stuff, because this is going to give them the vibe in the ear. They also have the mic to play, chat in-game, and there's a new segment that's about to be drawn in, and companies are just, like in the past 3 days, starting to really realize there's a lot of potential here. Now, what that means is that this set I said don't buy, really, if you were to buy it and to put the foam mod in, you're going to get a sense of what's literally actually of what's coming, which is haptic drivers being implemented in many kinds of ways like planars, and done to varying levels of success like planars, and with a mic, the newest one's coming out. So it's you can use it for, they'll have switches to turn it on and off, so in the ideal configuration it'll be done in a way that you can do with the switch on for hip-hop, EDM, trip-hop, and with the switch off, listen to your regular stuff, and gaming with one or the other, depending on what game you're playing and what your preference is. But I'm going to put this at number 5. Sorry for the long explanation, but man, this is really coming. You can see, you can read the tea leaves. The mics coming up with cheap stuff, the haptic drivers coming in the cheap stuff, people starting to get their radars up. Gaming off your phone using those IEMs, it's coming. So I'll put that at number 5. Number 4 will be the Corks DSP, which seems interesting. I'm not really familiar with the new sets that replace this, but this, the way that it does the bass, which is kind of like the Zero, the original one by Kryn, and the Khan, which is my ill-advised retake on that. It does hip-hop really good. That bass sounds nice. It's got a kind of lo-fi replay. Why would I rec something lo-fi? Because it's kind of fun, engaging, and it's great for long listening. And it's so cheap. And if there's a updated, you know, $20 DSP set that's really nailed it since the Corks came out, go ahead and comment below, and I'll try to grab it and do a video for it. I did a video for this long after it came out, and I'll do for whatever's come out recently, so comment and suggest below. It'll play hip-hop, rock, R&B, and classic. You're not going to get the precision that you want in the high res, but it's a relaxing playback, and I enjoy it. Next one is going to be my collaboration, which would be it's in the same spot it was 2 months ago. The sales on this set last month were the same as the first month, really. This has really found its spot, and it just keeps moving units. It's got sub bass over mid bass. It's based on my original target. It is good for hip hop. It does rock well. It does R&B well. It's not something I would recommend for classical. There's lots of other sets that do that genre a lot better, but it's made out of metal. It's got a good cable that comes with it. Some people have condensation issues, but the more I'm learning about other brands that have all metal shells. This is something that's really all around the hobby. When you sell thousands of units, the percentage is gonna come up because there's more samples to draw from. So gonna work on that in the future, but already have been. So, but I'll put this at number 3. Calculate the bias. As always with everybody and everything that they say, you should always pay attention. I get profit if somebody buys one of these, full disclosure. Next set will be the Critical Truthier X0 Original. Now this is a set that when I first got it and was listening to hip hop portions of my library, I was absolutely blown away and upset because I wasn't the guy that came up with it first. Corinne did. Separated subwoofer that sounds like it's separated, which most people don't want to hear. They want a coherency. They don't want to know that there's a driver separate taking care of a certain frequency. In the Zero's case, it was brilliant, and I just loved it, and I kind of copied it. And if you got the Con, it's really kind of doing the same thing with a little bit more bass. It's brilliant. People love the Zero Red. I'm still a fan of the original because I want it for my hip hop library. I don't want a jack of all trades for all of my library. I'd rather have a few sets that are super specialized at what they do than 5 sets that all kind of do the same thing with varying degrees of resolution. I'd like to experience stuff differently, and this just pops when it comes to hip hop. And people say, what about the impedance adapter? Here's the thing, my opinion on that. I've used that impedance adapter, not the one that came with it, but Venture Electronic VE Clan, I think, and another one. Something about it doesn't work for me. I don't know what it is. It does put up the bass, but there's something else going on. I can't put my ears get it, my brain gets it, but I can't say what that is. So the Zero is, yeah, for hip hop, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you got the Con, just huge fan of it. Now the last one is going to be the EW. This is a $35 set. This is like Harman perfected in my mind. It's just absolutely, it's like that Target. Hate it all you want, I do with you, but this is a $35 set with a high quality driver with a built like a tank, comes with a good cable. I don't think anything has taken this down at $35. It's just, it does hip hop great, it does rock great, it does R&B great, it does classical great, but for example, Tchaikovsky waltzes, there are times where I know there's a lot of energy going on. And then when I go back to some rock tracks, I can hear a little tizziness and some cymbal strikes, and electronic keyboards kind of got a little bit of fatigue going on after a while. But overall, if I'm just listening to this set and going through my playlist from, you know, a waltz to 50 Cent's mixed track Guess Who's Back or something like that, I notice the difference a little bit in something that's a little more intense, but I can go through my whole playlist and not touch it because it's got enough bass and it's got enough treble. My collab is very much like this, but less Pina. Some people who are, interestingly enough, you can go through my comment section to see this, there are people that do production and actually like this Z300 because of its low Pina and because they are good with adjusting sets and they can put this to a reference level for themselves, which means put the bass down a little bit and get enough resolution to do an effective production and not have the fatigue of listening to music or sounds all day long. I've gotten that from several people, and they like my collabs because they typically have a low Pina. So if you wanted a little bit more energy but like the overall tuning of the collab that I did, it would be the EW200. EW200 is a beast. Go ahead and let you guys go. Again, if you want to win that set right there, go ahead and got to be a subscriber, comment to qualify, thumbs up if you genuinely like it. So the haptic driver, get on the wave, understand what that is, and decide if you're even interested in getting on that wave at number 5. Number 4 is the Quarks or whatever is just like it but got better over the past year. Suggestions below, appreciated, thank you. The suggestions are for the community and for me. The Z300, totally biased, benefit from its purchases by you. I like it though because I put my name on it, and this was the set that had the most sendbacks as far as going back to China. The Zero because it's the original hip hop set, and the SimGot EW200 because it's It's build quality, it's cable, it's tuning, it's driver quality. $35 has just put this whole hobby on kind of the amazing trickle-down effect that happened over the past 12 months in this hobby has kind of slowed down, because how low can you go? How much can you make a strong tank-like build with a good cable, with a good driver, and how low can that go? It can get down to 35 at the EW200, and as of this date, 8/29/2023, I don't have anything in my collection that's beat it, and I have listened to sets that are being spoken about by other people, and I'm not talking about them for different reasons, but deep in my heart, I don't feel like they've done anything better than the EW200 technically, and certainly not in build quality. So that's my video, and I'm out.